Everyone, please stand. And I'd like to do the exercise that Master gives for getting rid of fear. We do it every day in energization, but let's focus on it. He said to inhale and tense your body and vibrate. Hold the tension. And then exhale. Relax, relax, relax. Again. Inhale, squeeze the body, hold the tension. Then relax, feel calmness coming in. Inhale again. Vibrate your whole body. Exhale. Now I like to show on the screen what fear does to the body, and then I'm going to read what Master said here. So please just look for a moment. You can see fear produces headaches that turn into migraine, headaches, muscle aches, body aches, chronic pain, difficulty with breathing, turning into asthma. And then I'll go ahead and say what Master says about fear here. Fear intensifies and magnifies our physical pain and mental agonies 100-fold. Fear is destructive to the heart, nervous system, and brain. It is destructive to mental initiative, courage, judgment, common sense, and willpower. Fear shrouds the soul's all-conquering confidence and power. And then he says about the exercise that we just did, when you do it, switch on the electricity of calmness and nonchalance. Let your whole mental machinery wake up and actively hum with a vibration of will. And finally, uproot fear from within by forceful concentration on courage and by shifting your consciousness to the absolute peace within. And finally, let's show the chart for foods. Master said eating a lot of meats, especially pork, other types of red meats, they cause fear in the body. And as you can see from his chart here, spiritual qualities of foods. There are foods that are more calming. And I wanted to draw your attention to the foods that create courage. The food is beets and calming, lettuce, various things here as you see. So also what you eat is going to help you be more calm and more centered within. Now let's listen to Swami Kriyanandaji for a couple of minutes, and then we'll go more into the talk.
We must understand that reason is never going to give us truth. You can answer 1,000 doubts reasonably, and you'll come up with another 1,000 easily. This is the most, as it says in the Bhagavad Gita, O Arjuna, the doubter is the most miserable of mortals. And I can say this because as everyone has had something to fight, this has been my battle. I remember my guru saying to me, you used to be eaten up with doubts. Now, thank God, I don't have doubts. I have overcome that. And you know, when you break a bone, another kind of bone forms around it that is stronger than the original bone. And so it is that when you overcome some bad quality in yourself, you develop a kind of quality that is opposite, that is much stronger than the original that you had to fight with. So my faith, after having had all those doubts, is what helps me to teach other people to resolve their doubts. I can understand where they're coming from because they can't have a doubt that I haven't had. But I've also seen that that is not the answer. In fact, my discovery has been that the answer to doubt is love. Love of the Guru, love of God. It says in the Christian Bible that perfect love casteth out fear. Doubt and fear are very similar. And when you have love, nothing can touch you. So develop devotion. You will overcome all these qualities, and intuition comes from the heart's feelings. We think that we understand things with the mind, with the intellect, but the intellect never can truly satisfy. And any logical conclusion to which you have come will be probably overcome within a few minutes or overthrown in a few years. You know, every single scientific discovery has in some way had to be modified or abandoned by further discoveries in science. Science will never reach the end of it all, because the end does not come by intellect. When you love, you understand. When you love other people, you understand them by empathy. You feel what they are going through. If you're only analyzing them like on a couch, you can't really understand them. You've got to feel their needs, their desires, their ups and downs. You have to feel one with them. And it's in that sense that my guru was able to help us, his disciples. He said, I go through your minds every night. And many times I would find that he would repeat things to me that I had said even when I wasn't with him, or thought when I wasn't with him, and correct me in it.
Good morning again, friends. This is such a wonderful topic, and one so appropriate for these days. There are so many ways that the gurus, all of them, that they protect us. I think from the beginning of life, let's face it, from many lifetimes, the gurus have protected us. They've guided us. They've shown us the way to get out of delusion. And I was thinking of the various things that Master said to do and the things that he gave. Are they not protection? If you look at his book, he said, I put Autobiography of a Yogi, I put my vibrations in that book. Is that not a protection? Lahiri Mahashaya, when some devotees, they had a picture of him, and he said, well, if you deem it a picture, that's all it's going to be. If you deem it a protection, that's what it's going to be. Are not the photographs of the gurus when we offer devotion and the murtis, are they not protection? When we think of, Master said, when I'm no longer there, read my whispers from eternity, and I will talk to you and guide you through those words. Is that not his protection? When we think of the energization exercises that create an aura of light all around us and heal the body and purify and cleanse the body, is that not from Master, Guru's protection? We think of Kriya, how when we do Kriya, it's burning up our karma every day. Is that not a protection from the Guru? The chants that Master wrote, he spiritualized them. He said he found he had an ecstatic experience of God. And when you chant those, he said, you will feel that vibration. Is that not the protection of the Guru? There's so many things in satsang and service. Everything Master said, they're all protecting us. I would say keep the holy books, the books of his, all around your house. Keep pictures around your house. Keep them with you in your wallet and outside your house. Really see them as a protection, not just a picture, not just an exercise, not just a book. And you can see from the stories, the wonderful stories from the autobiography and from the new path. In fact, please let me give you some homework and read the chapter, God Protects His Devotees, from the new path. But you can see in those books how much love and protection the gurus gave to their disciples. I was reading the stories in those books just for preparation for the class, and how Swami Shri Teswarji, he healed Master's sister's legs. She was paralyzed, and from his power, he healed her. In the story of Master, he was healed from the photograph of Lahiri Mahashaya from Asiatic cholera. And also he was healed again in that story, We Do Not Go to Kashmir, by his guru, Swami Shri Teswarji, who healed him from that same disease. And the masters also raise people from the dead. I mean, all you have to do is read these stories and you know that you're protected. The beautiful story of Lady Mahashaya with Rama raised from the dead. Babaji with the disciple who wanted to be a disciple, who climbed the heights to find Babaji, finally finds him and he wants to be his disciple. And Babaji says, no, you're not ready. And he says, I'm going to jump then. He says, jump. And then the man dies. And he has people, his disciples bring him back. He touches him and the man comes back to life. These are incredible stories. And a wonderful, one of the most wonderful stories recounted in Autobiography of a Yogi is the story of that boy Kashi. He was a student of Master's, and honestly, he was his disciple. And Kashi was 12 years old, and at a certain point, Master was telling the schoolboys what their fate would be. And he said of Kashi, oh, well, you will die, when Kashi asked him amongst the other boys. And Master felt so badly about that, but it was the truth. And this boy comes to him and he says, will you bring me back to the path? Now, Master went in the astral realms and he found that boy. Within 6 months, he said he felt that he was somewhere reborn in a woman's mother's womb. Now, what happened? He brought him back quickly. And Master said he would go around because he promised the boy that he would find him after, he didn't say so right away, but Kashi kept on, will you find me? Will you find me? And I bet all of us at some point said, Master, will you keep helping me? Will you protect me? Will you find me? Will you pull me out of delusion? And so he promised that boy, and we go around the streets of Calcutta, and he had his hands up and he was just feeling, where is Kashi? Where is Kashi? And all the people around him thought he was not, he was a little bit off. And the Master didn't care. He kept holding his hands up. And then one day he felt this tingling in his hands. I mean, he went into the astral realms to find this boy. And he brought him back and he said, I feel this is my boy Kashi. And he kept feeling the way to find him. And he finds a house, he talks to the parents. You can read the whole story. But at the very end, the parents give him the name Kashi again. Master, he said he went to visit the boy. I mean, he didn't let him go. He went to visit him. He said they were very close. And he sent him when he was, I think he was 12 years old again. He sent him to a Himalayan yogi for training. It's just such a beautiful story. So even not in this life, and then in the next life, the Master can bring you back. Now, the Master's protection is there. Master told Dr. Lewis, when he asked him, will you love me always as I will love you? Doctor said yes. Master was so happy. He says, he rubs his hands. He says, now I can take charge of your life. Now, these are powerful words. And this is what the guru tells the disciple. Now I'm taking charge of your life. And as we have in the purification ceremony, the words are, the Master says, open your heart to me and I will enter and take charge of your life. This is a promise of the guru. And also I was thinking of the story that Swamiji told us, that Master said the disciples will be protected. And he said that Master would tell this story about Swami Shankara and a servant. And the servant was really his disciple who lived with him and who went to this astrologer who in that lifetime was Swami Shankara. And so the boy goes and the astrologer, Swami Shankara, says, oh, you're going to die tonight. And the little guy's just shaking. He goes back to Babaji and he says, I'm going to die tonight. And Babaji says, go back and tell him. It won't happen. You just have to love that. It won't happen. And so he goes back, probably trembling. He says, "My guru says it won't happen." He says, "This is a heavy karma here. It says it right here." And I know so many people, they go to the astrologer. What's the astrologer going to tell me? Not that that's bad, but don't lean on it. They go to a psychic. Oh, the psychic's going to help me. Psychic is not going to help you. You go to so many people, go to the guru. So he says, go back and tell them it's not going to happen. And so that whole night, the guru, Babaji, lays on top. He puts his aura on top of the disciple, and in the morning there was lightning and a huge thunderstorm all night long, and lightning flashing all around them. And he just puts his aura. You could just feel the masters put their aura around us. And so in the morning, the little guy is still there, and he goes to Swami Shankara and he says, "I'm coming with you immediately to take initiation, because this karma is so heavy. If you're still alive, I myself will take initiation from your guru." And Babaji's our guru. Lady Mahashaya is our guru. Swami Shritasvarji is our guru. Masters our guru. Krishna's our guru. Jesus, these are our gurus. And their protection is there. Now, the other side of that, when Swamiji, I heard him on a talk recently, he said, Master said that disciples will be protected. But then he added something. He said, that depends on you. And I went, wow. And he said, it's not automatic. Isn't that something? You have to put out energy. You have to want it. You have to stay in tune. Master said, when I'm gone, many of you will fall, but it doesn't have to be if you will stay in tune. And so we have to put out the energy ourselves. There were some women who they would always leave their car unlocked, and they would say, "Oh, Master, he's protecting us, and we don't have to lock our car." Well, you have to use common sense. And so he said, "No, I'm not protecting you." And so they kept leaving the car open. They had some valuable, I think it was paintings that were taken from their car. And then a very interesting story. There was a young boy, I can't remember his name at the moment, but he had a finger cut off one day. And he was there at the ashram, or he was a disciple for sure. And Master said something very interesting to him. He said, there was a dark cloud around you. Now, we know the guru's energy is there. We know his help is there. Why did the guy have a dark cloud? This is what you have to ask yourself. You have to keep the practices going. You have to do the energization, all kriya, chant, read, come to the satsangs, get online. You have to strengthen your own aura. It can't be, it's not a given. Master is protecting me. He's all around me. You have to do it yourself. And then there were other stories about people who they didn't put out the energy to be able to draw the Master's grace. But Master what Swamiji told us was, and it's in the new path, he said, outright misfortune, Master would take from the disciple. But if it was something you needed to learn, he would allow you to learn that. And so there was that story of many stories in the new path. In that chapter I told you to read, there's a story of Norman, who was driving down the hill from Mount Washington, and the brakes failed in the car. And so then he shouts out, "Master, is this what you want?" The car slowly comes to a stop, and he was at the bottom of the hill. The car just comes to a stop. And then there was Dr. Lewis, who was traveling. He was on an icy road getting to a meditation group. The car starts spinning. He almost hit another car, and he just prayed to Master. He felt like a giant hand had come down to stop the car. The car completely stopped. And many beautiful stories like that. But you had to put the energy out. I recall this story about one of the monks who was not very well generally. And Master gave him, he could barely get out of the bed. He had to double curvature of the spine and all. And So Master gave him a difficult job. And then people, they complain, oh, why me? Why I have to do this? So Master gave him the job of driving the tractor. So he was driving, and he was getting stronger and stronger by the day. And then one day he started feeling sorry for himself. And his energy started dropping. And he felt, why is he asking me to do this job? And other people were saying, why is he asking you? And he was buying into it. So then he tells Master, I don't want to do that job anymore. Master said, okay, it's okay. The guy got weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. Then he was bedridden. And then he left the path. This is an amazing story. Master was keeping him well. As long as he did that seva, Master was helping him. And soon as he said, no, I don't want to do it, he shut the door himself. And so there are many stories like this where you see if we put out the energy, then we have the strength. If we don't put out the energy, then we don't have the strength. And also I was remembering, if it's for Master's work and you're really serving, and all of us can serve, call people, pray for people, make sure everybody's fine who are around you, talk to other Guru Bhais. But I recall Swami Kriyanandaji, when he was some of his last years of his life, and very interesting story. Someone came to Swamiji and said, because of your seva, Babaji is extending your life. Now that's an amazing story, but Swamiji felt it was true, and he was quite ill at the time. But Babaji's protection was around him, and he lived several more years. One thing that came out of that time that he lived was the Nayaswami order. It was an important part of Master's work. But because he was serving, Divine Mother kept him in that body longer. And another story of Swamiji where he was wanting to give a talk. It was a satsang, a Sunday service. And he had a kidney stone attack. And he felt so terrible. He just couldn't even move. And people said, well, we'll take you to the doctor. He couldn't even bear the pain of going over those bumpy roads at the meditation retreat, trying to get to a doctor. So he just was there, and the time was ticking, the clock was ticking. And then he said he didn't want to pray for himself. But then he thought, but those people, they want to hear the satsang. And so he prayed to Divine Mother. It's very touching. He said, if you want me to go there and give the satsang, you will have to take this pain away and heal me. And I've heard him tell that story. I heard him many times. And he said, just like this, a wave of a hand, the pain went away. And I was able to go and give the satsang. And he said, the pain was replaced by joy. And when I got there, he said, I still couldn't talk because I was so overwhelmed with joy. And so as you serve also, Master moves heaven and earth to help you to be able to serve. And finally, there, even at death, the masters come to you. This is what Swamiji told us. Master said, when you die, he said, Master, or one of the gurus will be there to escort you into the astral realms. What a beautiful promise. And there was a story of one person who was a devotee, disciple, the mother of one of our longtime devotees. And she was very elderly, but she was very devout and Kriyaban. And she must have been in her 80s by then. And I went because they asked me to come and pray with them, the family. And we would pray for her and chant, and it was such a wonderful time. I mean, passings of devotees can be very beautiful. And so then at a certain point, one of the daughters, who's a good friend, she said she kept going to her. I mean, this went on for some days. She kept going to her, trying to get her mother's attention and tell her, I love you and I'm here. And at a certain point, her mother just kept saying, don't talk to me now. Leave me alone. Swamiji just keeps coming. I just want to be with him. Isn't that beautiful? And I met another person who passed away. No, I should end that she passed away a little while later. And I was there at the time. It was a blessing to be there. The room was just full of peace. And we got the harmonium. We start chanting different chants. And I went over to her, instructed by the family. And I just was stroking her head and just chanting Babaji, Laird Mashai, Master, just so she didn't have any fear. And she just went out into the infinite. And then I was with another person who, this was many years back, and they had leukemia. And they were, this person was young, I mean, maybe under 40. And the last days of their life, I would go and read autobiography to them and just to try to comfort them. And then at a certain point, I remember this person said, I mean, they were in a coma, coming back in and out of the coma. And I remember at a certain point, he said, oh, I'm not going to die anymore. And I said, what do you mean? I was reading autobiography to him, all the time. And he pointed to the book and he said, oh, he's here. I've seen him. I see him. Isn't that beautiful? For the devotee to just be assured that God is there. Gurus are there from birth to death and beyond. The gurus are with us. I want to close with this song of Swamiji's, I Live Without Fear. God bless you.
The green summer fade and winter draw near. My Lord, in your presence I live without fear. Through tempest, through snows, through turbulent tide, the touch of your hand is my strength and my guide. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. I ask for no riches that death can destroy. I crave only thee, your love and your joy. The dancers will pass, the singing must end. I welcome the darkness with you for my friend.
God bless you and have a wonderful day.